Hi YouTube, thank you for joining me for two-page reviews. This two-page review will be on the movie Trick from 1999. This movie uses what's called coitus interruptus to keep our leads virginal. Well, we know they're not, but they have to be in order for us to root for them, right? Even the casting choice kind of seems aimed at it. You've got Christian Campbell, a wide-eyed young musical writer, sleeping outside so a straight roomie can get some nookie uninterrupted. Okay, this sounds bad, but trust me, we do see some guy-on-guy action in a minute. So he slept out in the hallway, has an office job, and tests a song in his writing class. Exposition? Check. Perry, who shows up later in the film, tells Gabe that he really liked it, but have you really captured that moment, that really good feeling after a great first kiss? And then he says, Gabe, you gotta grab life by the balls. It's how you get the good stuff. At a bar later on, Gabe gazes at Mark the Go-Go Boy and ends up on a train with them, and they go back to his place. Interruptus number 1, Catherine, printing her resume. Small talk, and some time later they get to business. Or try to, when Interruptus 2 comes up. The guy who just got laid last night wants to do it all again. So they have a coin toss to see who gets the apartment. Oh, damn. Okay, well, Perry has a place. They go to a piano bar and talk a bit, and then, on the way back to Perry's, Interruptus number 3. Perry and his boyfriend make up. So Gabe's suggestion of going to a bar is now realized, because where else are they going to go? Mark then meets Dino, an ex of his that is a partier and cares little for Gabe, even to the point of wanting to run off and ditch him. So now, while Gabriel is in the bathroom, Coco Peru makes her tryst with Mark known to him, and its result. He left her with an eyeful, and it burned. Gabe leaves when he sees Dino force a kiss on Mark, who's like, "Fool, what's wrong with you? We're exes for a reason." So Gabe gets all pouty and goes back to the apartment. Great, they're getting nookie. I wanted some nook tonight, but now I gotta settle for hearing other people getting nook. This is some Bolshevik. So then Mark says, hey, I think I lost my keys in your apartment. Rich tries to keep them out of the apartment, but Gabe slaps Rich upside the head with some logic. He can't go home until he finds his keys. Then Judy, or Dr. Ruth Judy, mediates between Gabe and Mark because Gabe is not really feeling himself. Gabe, verbalize your feelings. He takes a deep breath and says, I just wanted your hot bod and I needed a place to get off, and that's all I wanted. And then Mark is all hurt and downcast, being like, I really liked you, and we never should have went to that club, and the drag queen was taping me. That's why I shot her in the eye and left. Oh. All he could really say was, oh. Judy finds Mark's keys. Gabe passes them to him, and right when we think he's going to go into the subway home, Mark is like, you hungry? Mark comes back, of course. Interruptus number 4, maybe, oh hell, they done gave up on getting some nookie for the night, but Catherine comes over and monopolizes the conversation. Evian from Superstar in an earlier scene was allergic to gladiolas, so Catherine will go on the next night. Then she talks about shit, literal shit, and Gabe has enough, and he's like, Catherine, you've been monopolizing the conversation since we got here. Well, I was just talking, says Catherine, all hurt. I need to be alone with Mark. Catherine, what are you saying? Mark, or Gabriel, go somewhere else, take your girlfriends, and practice your monologue on them. And then Catherine freaks out, being like, I'm not a lesbian, I don't want to move to New Jersey, and where are the cheese on these goddamn fucking fries? So, Gabe comforts Catherine, and Mark and Gabe are finally alone. And Mark is like, well, remember when I said this woman doesn't like me bringing guys back to my apartment? It's my mother. I live at home. Okay. So, they go to the bathroom, and the kiss. Gabe is like, what about sex? And Mark is like, what kind of girl do you think I am? So after enjoying a night out, Mark is going home, and the music swells, and the great kiss Perry prophesied happens, and Mark gives Gabe his number, which he tries from a payphone, and it works. Walking down the street with a doofy little grin, he sings his song, Enter You. And even though he wasn't entered that day or night, he still had a great time. So what I really like about this film, I rate it a solid 4 out of 5 because it has some silly tropes, but it kind of does them differently. And I guess against the gay background, it is kind of interesting because, well, the gay world is an interesting world. Then again, such a world exists. What makes this work is the chemistry between Gabe and Mark and the world that they lived in being filled with colorful characters. I liked the way that they didn't sanitize Miss Coco Peru, as too many people think of drag queens as just entertainment and not really full people that actually have sex lives. I also like the fact that Gabe got a bit assertive throughout the film. He confronted Rich and Catherine and even blew the lid off of what he wanted that night. I could see him being a more take-charge person in the future. So I love that this film didn't have to deal with homophobia or HIV or some of the other darker subjects that many gay films dealt with. Trick is an independent film that was picked up later and shown in theaters, and it went right to HBO and cable networks after Time, which is where I first saw Trick on HBO. There is talk about a 20-year sequel, and I hope it can catch some of the magic in a bottle that this one did. So, talk to you later. Thank you for joining me for 2 Page Reviews.